Fionna and Cake Season 2 is shaping up to be one of the best pieces of sequel media I've seen, and that's extremely hard to do. The last time I saw something come close was Samurai Jack, despite them dropping the ball with its ending. The first episode was a good starting point, but this one just kept getting better and better. It had major callbacks to seemingly one-off episodes in the original show, as well as giving us more lore on Huntress Wizard. Let's dive into the second episode of Season 2, The Crocodile Who Bit a Log. Spoilers, obviously. The episode actually begins with a quick origin story of Huntress Wizard. We see her as a young girl training in the forest, with this character staring at her in the background. This guy is the Spirit Warrior, who appeared in the episode Flute Spell in the original series. That episode involved Finn trying to help Huntress Wizard summon the Spirit Warrior by playing the flute. Supposedly, she had been trying to summon him for the longest time, but when she came across Finn playing his flute with his grass arm flawlessly, she thought that would be enough to do it. Finn, after drinking this enchanted water, speaks with the Spirit Warrior in a dream. He tries to tell him that they've been trying to summon him for weeks, hinting that the warrior and Huntress Wizard have some sort of past. And he says a very important line.
Huntress Wizard only sees straight ahead. Eyes on the prize.
This line may have some important implications for Season 2 of Fionna and Cake, so I'll get back to this later. He then asks the Spirit Warrior to make him immune to electricity, something he and Huntress Wizard need to hunt down this boar, and he tells Finn to plunge his sword into his chest. Finn does this with little hesitation.
I'll do it. To help Huntress Wizard.
Before waking up. Later, they play their instruments in harmony and Spirit Warrior shows up in the flesh. At this point, both Finn and Jake are confused, thinking that the two used to date. According to Spirit Warrior, he stopped visiting Huntress Wizard after she became more interested in the Wizard City lifestyle, suggesting that she'd lost touch with where she came from. Finn reveals he played his flute spell for her, and she kisses him, saying she played hers for him too. But then she says,
"But exceptional beasts like us cannot fall in love."
That's real dumb.
The reason I bring this episode up is not just because the Spirit Warrior shows up, but because it's the first episode that dives into Finn and Huntress Wizard's relationship, something that we can see is integral to the second season of Fionna and Cake. With that, let's get back to the episode. So it's clear from this scene that Huntress Wizard and Spirit Warrior didn't date, but they had a student-mentor relationship. She trains day and night in the lone forest until she finally breaks this rock. Inside, she finds this tooth, and Spirit Warrior tells her,
"If you still seek power, the tooth must bite."
And she cuts off her hand without hesitation, kinda similar to how Finn was willing to sacrifice himself when he dreamt of him. Spirit Warrior guides her to the heart of the forest.
Oh, wait a minute. We're this way.
Where we are introduced to this new character, Witch Wizard. She guards the same bush that injured Finn in the first season. We learned that there's this cult of green wizards that can shapeshift, regenerate, and have plant powers. Although Huntress Wizard is now integrated into their group, she says she works alone. I always loved how mysterious Huntress Wizard was in the show, and this episode continues that. We're still not seeing everything of her past, like what she was doing before she trained with the Spirit Warrior, or her early years before the original show began. It's a great introduction. I'm fairly confident we'll flash back to her early years after becoming a wizard, and we'll probably see more of what exactly caused the rift between her and Spirit Warrior. In the present, she approaches that ancient bush before the green bear stops her. This bear is revealed to be Witch Wizard, who realizes that Huntress Wizard is here because of Finn. She gets pissed, thinking that Huntress Wizard told Finn their secrets, and an amazingly choreographed battle ensues, with Huntress Wizard winning. Witch Wizard warns her that by tampering with the bush, something catastrophic could happen. Huntress digs her tool into the bush anyway, stating,
"For Finn."
Just like he said,
To help Huntress Wizard.
and things escalate quickly. Turns out the bush was actually some mystical ancient animal that was the source of power for these green wizards. It wails in pain and all of their powers get taken away from them. The animal then contorts into some portal and the green wizards attack Huntress for betraying them. This leads to her getting sucked into the portal. The music that plays here is so ominous and it really makes the situation feel so dire. See, I heard a lot of people tell me this episode was incredible and it's so lit. And every single time I hear people gassing something up, I always think to myself, how gas could it be? What could possibly happen? Like, there's no way they're gonna kill off Huntress Wizard.
Oh my goodness!
Huntress' limbs float aimlessly in this ethereal tree dimension. That's when we cut to Simon working with his students to try and help Finn. We even see a small dialogue exchange between him and PB. She calms him down and says that she sent help, and the banana guards show up, being just as useless as ever. I wonder if Simon and PB will have more moments together to flesh out their relationship, something that was hinted at in the last episode. When we get back to Huntress, we get possibly one of the best short scenes in all of Adventure Time. She lies in the forest and we see Finn appear next to her, where he says,
Huntress, I'm thinking about dying soon.
Bummer. You're gonna forget all about me.
Never. Never.
Call me a Finn fanboy or whatever, but I have to see more of him this season. Like, there is no way this guy does not have a more prominent role. I want to see more of old Finn, and not like what we saw in the first season, because that was mostly just comedic. I want real sentimental scenes like this one. Finn shutting his eyes with a smile, seemingly accepting death, is so sad, but it's something we've seen him do time and time again. He's also probably a little excited because he knows he can get to see Jake again, which, as we know from Together Again, he never truly got over. Finn even saying that he would never forget Huntress Wizard means that despite their supposed on-again, off-again relationship, they had a real connection. Again, I really hope the show expands on that as the season progresses. The scene then transitions to Huntress Wizard's head floating in that tree world. Her body parts then turn into seeds, which form what look like her spirit form, or her astral form. Reminds me a lot of Finn when he's in his astral body. You could say that this is her soul, like she's in between life and death. A small part of me thinks that this entire season is the writers trying to justify her and Finn's relationship, and I'm all for it. Her seeds drift away and get sucked into a different universe, suggesting that this tree dimension is a world between worlds, kind of like Prismo's time room. These pieces land in a bunch of universes we visited in the previous season, along with some new ones. We see the baby dimension, and one where we can see these logs, highly suggesting that this is Farmworld Finn's dimension. We know he'll play a role because he's present in the trailer. Oh yeah, I didn't even touch on the other plot of the show, which follows Fionna, Cake, and the rest of the gang dealing with Queenie taking over the sweet spot. There's nothing insanely crazy that happens with them in this episode, other than the fact that Cairo Siphon, that fire god from the first season, who Fionna and Cake freed, is now helping Queenie. He just wanted a job. Okay, cute. We also see Fionna babysitting baby Finn. I'm extremely excited to see how Fionna and adult Finn will interact. I'm telling you, if we get heart-to-heart scenes between these two, like what we had with Fionna and Simon in the previous season, I might cry. Huntress Wizard in her astral body can hear various loud sounds coming from these glowing leaves that represent the various dimensions. She hears a calm voice uttering to her,
"You wish to leave this place, little homie?
Yes!
You just gotta choose which direction you want to grow."
This kinda echoes what Spirit Warrior told Finn.
Huntress Wizard only sees straight ahead. Eyes on the prize.
She then shuts her eyes, trying to focus on the various sounds she can hear. We see someone cutting a log in half, which has to be Farmworld Finn, a vampire from the Star episode, and
The heck am I looking at?
she then hears Fionna speaking to Simon and enters her universe. But she's stuck as a seed. That's when we hear some important dialogue between Simon and Fionna.
Fiona, Finn's gonna be fine. He's got a lot of people pulling for him.
But what if people pulling for him doesn't matter? What if they give up on him?
We won't. I promise.
I think this line is hinting at one of the season's core themes, resilience.
No one taught you anything, and that's not your fault. You're trying your best, but if you don't pull it together, everyone's gonna leave you.
Fionna is clearly struggling with her identity, as showcased when her former bosses kept mentioning that she was fired, her seemingly horrible relationship with DJ Flame, and her rivalry with Queenie. She's gonna learn to stand on her own, even when everything around her feels like it's falling apart. Huntress Wizard then manages to dive into a pot so she can grow. Judging by the small connections to previous episodes, her arc probably has to do with her learning that not everything is a straight path. Every time we've seen her, her entire character has been driven by a single goal, chasing whatever is right in front of her. She's laser focused, but now she's had to die and resort to traveling through various universes to save Finn. Not exactly a straight path by any means. The title of the episode obviously refers to what Witch Wizard actually does in the episode, but it also relates to how Huntress Wizard, trying to get the cure for Finn, is actually biting off more than she can chew. Overall, this episode gets me even more hyped for what's to come. Prismo is supposedly returning this season. We'll see how he plays a role. I am curious to see Farmworld Finn's role and get more answers as to what this limbo tree dimension is. I can't believe there are still some people doubting this show for the dumbest reasons possible. It's not just a spin-off of gender-bent versions of the characters that we love, but a full-blown sequel to the original show. Also, just as an aside, Finn and Huntress Wizard better get together at the end. And it better not be Fionna getting with Huntress Wizard. If that happens, I'm gonna be clamoring on about.
That's real dumb.
From everything that has been set up in this episode between Finn and Huntress Wizard, it would be ridiculous for that to end up being the case. Be sure to subscribe, as I'll be covering new episodes as they come out every week. If you want to support me further, consider joining my Patreon, where I'll be posting these breakdowns early. Let me know if I missed anything down below, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Also, I can't wait for all the episodes to be released so I can make a Huntress Wizard character breakdown. You know that's coming. With that, I want to thank you for watching.